Yo, what is going on, guys? Crypto Vibes here, also known as Crypto. I'm bringing you guys another video. Today, I'll be going over my... This is the EBT battling tournament, actually, so it's not a league. This is actually something different. I've never been a part of a draft tournament like this, so this is definitely really cool. It's a 64-person tournament with... I'll explain the way the draft worked out first. As there was 16 people in each draft, so... There's 4 different groups of 16 people in each. That's how they filled up the 64 spots or whatnot. So I was in draft pool C, for example. There was 4 different draft pools, like I said, 16 people in each. I was in draft pool C, and this is just an example. Say I picked up Mega Gardevoir in draft pool C. That means draft pool C, nobody else could take Mega Gardevoir. Just like any other draft, you pick something, it can't be taken by anybody else. But since I was in draft pool C, that means obviously in draft pool A, B, and D, somebody could take my Gardevoir if they really wanted. So you'll see in some of these battles that I have coming out for you that a couple of Pokemon will be the same. And that's just because people were in different draft groups in general. But yeah, anyways, explaining that, obviously you see in front of you, this is my pool. I got in pool O for the battling pools. And the way the battling pools worked is there's 16 battling pools with 4 different people in each pool. So basically what the goal is in these pools are you have to be one of the top 2 teams to make it out of your pool. So obviously 2 people make it in your pool, 2 people don't. The 2 people with the better record make it, obviously, and each person plays each other 1 time. So it's like a round robin system, which is pretty cool. And it comes down to, I believe, record obviously first, then differential, then head to head. I think that's what it is. And you say 2 people were 2-1 or whatever, and 1 person may have a higher differential, they'd obviously get in. If they were 2-1 and somebody had the same differential, then whoever won the head to head matchup would get in. That's a thing to keep in mind, but it didn't really happen in our pool, so don't worry about it. But as you can see on your screen here, we have our teams. And I'll go ahead and explain or talk about the coaches before I go over my team, I guess. Over to my left side, you can see we have my boy Jimmy. It's actually pretty funny. I asked Jimmy to join this kind of late, and whenever we were finally filling up the last few spots. But Jimmy's my good friend, and I've been in a couple leagues with him for a while, so it's pretty cool. And he drafted a lot of stuff I'm familiar with him using, so I thought that was at least kind of cool to my advantage right there. But I know he's very good at using some of that stuff, like Mega Charizard Y, Venomoth, Heliolisk I've seen him be pretty good with. And he also has a pretty good spinner being Blastoise down there. With Hippowdon, he's used a lot too. But then, talking about my next opponent, we have Glob to the left of Jimmy. And I've gotten to know Glob pretty good after our battles and stuff. And he's been pretty nice to me and stuff. So I like Glob a lot. He's a good friend. And then over to the left of Glob, we have Narth Vader, which was really cool to play him. I like his YouTube content a lot. He's a cool guy. So definitely really cool about that. And he's definitely a really good player. So all 3 of these players were really hard to play. Like, oh my gosh, this was a tough pool, and it came down to the wire on a few things. So definitely tough. And as you can see on my squad, we have the Zygarde 50%, Mega Scizor, Thunderous Eye, Greninja, Alolan Ninetales, Volcanion, Donphan, and Uxie. This team originally started as me wanting to build around Zygarde 50 and Mega Scizor. And then later in the draft, I noticed Alolan Ninetales was still there, and people were saying, "Yo, Veil plus Zygarde's broken." And I just thought about the idea, and it does sound very broken. So I picked up Alolan Ninetales with, I believe, my 5th pick down there, which was really nice. And also, the Thunderous Eye was actually not intended to be on my team. It was supposed to be Milotic there, but I still saw the Thunderous Incarnate right there. So I was like, okay, I gotta take this. This is a steal. I'll get Milotic on the way back. Didn't happen. Milotic got sniped, so I went ahead and picked up Greninja, which I'm okay with. But obviously, I sacrificed a ton of bulk right there. And with Alolan Ninetales, I didn't really pick much up besides Veil. So with my last 3 picks, I kind of had to go a little bulky. With Volcanion being pretty good all around, which I like a lot. It has Water Absorb, which is nice for my team. Donphan, which is a good rocker, is my first rock on the team with Sturdy. It's another ground type, so Zygarde doesn't have to necessarily come in on all electric types and risk Hidden Power Ice or something. And then Uxie being a solid defensive mono overall with decent attacks, so it can at least break like substitutes every now and then and stuff, which is nice, and do solid damage. And you know, has some cool tricks up its sleeve. Minto is really nice for my team. I have a lot of setup options with Veil, so that's a thing. If Alolan Ninetales doesn't have a good matchup and I can't get Veil up, then Uxie with screens and reflecting light screen is really nice, so that's always a thing. But yeah, Get into the first match, I went ahead. We had a week, I believe, to complete these. So me and Jimmy ended up playing like 2 days after this started. So that was my first opponent, and yeah, obviously on Jimmy's team, he's got some huge threats to my team. The Heliolisk being one in particular. That thing can pretty much 2-hit KO the majority of my squad, which sucks. It definitely sucks. Yeah, besides my Yuxi, I think it can not 2-hit KO that, but I don't end up bringing Yuxi, fun fact. And he's got the Megazord Y, which obviously seems like a huge threat, but I believe I can get rocks up on him, which is obviously not going to be easy because he's a Blastoise I can spin, and I'll go ahead and give it away. My Donphan is my rocker for this game. But then he does have things like the Venomoth, which I want to get rocks up for, the Mega Charizard Y like I was talking about, and the Stoutland's very scary to understand, so I had to build around that properly, I felt. As I'll go ahead and get into the match. You're going to see on your screen, he does elect to bring the Hippowdon Mega Charizard Y. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to change scenes. I'm sorry. As you're gonna see on his side, he does have the Hippowdon, Mega Charizard Y, Heliolisk, Venomoth, Blastoise, and Stoutland. And on my side, we have the Volcanion, Donphan, Greninja, Mega Scizor, Thunderous Eye, and Alolan Ninetales. I played this game a couple days back. It might have been like 3 or 4 days. I can't remember now, but I'll try to remember the team as best as possible. The Volcanion set was a Shuka Berry set with 4 attacks, I think. It might have been 3 attack substitute, just to kind of wear on a team, which was pretty good overall. I like the Sugar Berry just in case Hippo thought he had me in a range where he could kill me and I wouldn't necessarily go for Steam Eruption that turn. The Donphan is a sturdy set with Stealth Rocks, Rock Slide, Earthquake, and Rapid Spin, maybe? Ice Shard. No, Ice Shard. Yeah, I've stacked a bunch of priority on this team. The reason for so much priority is Venomoth is a pain. If I can get rock damage off on that, and I do have a Scarf Greninja. Scarf Greninja's Rock Slide does not guarantee a knockout if he's running a decent amount of bulk, so I want to have a lot of priority. I have Mega Scizor's priority with Bull Punch, Donphan's priority with Ice Shard, and I believe I'm running Ice Shard on my Alolan Ninetales. That might have been next week though, or next game. I'm just saying next week because I'm just doing leagues, but this is a tournament for us. This is a tournament. Yeah, but the Donphan's a sturdy set with rocks and whatnot. Obviously, he brought the Blastoise, so it's not going to be the easiest to get up rocks, and he's going to try to prevent that as best as possible. Our Greninja set, like I talked about, it's a Twist Scarf set. Jimmy in the past has brought Dragon Dance, Charizard, Y a lot, and it throws a lot of people off, so that's something I wanted to prep properly for. As a special Charizard Y actually seems a little scary against my team I brought. Maybe not against Volcanion if I brought like AV. But yeah, and then he's got Heliolisk, which in my opinion is the biggest threat to my team. It can pretty much 2-hit KO everything like I was talking about, and I pretty much have to sack something every time it gets a switch in on something it likes, which is nice for him. The Venomoth, I don't think it'll be Focus Sash because of Hippowdon to get up the sand, but Rock is still going to be necessary for that in the Charizard. Blastoise, obviously, I'm going to try to wear that thing down with Thunderous and just other coverage moves for my team, maybe even Stealth Rocks if I can get him up on him. And then the Stoutland, obviously, the Sand Abuser, which is another huge offensive threat to my team, so I have to play around that appropriately and use my priority to my advantage. Now, one thing before I go and get into the battle, I expected him 100% to lead Blastoise, predicting my Donphan lead. As Donphan, gets up rocks against his team, he's going to know rocks are very important to stop his Venomoth plus Charizard Y. So what's going to happen is I'm going to lead with my Thunderous on his Blastoise lead, which works out perfectly for me. Now, turn 1 right here, Jimmy's an aggressive player. He might predict me turn 1 to over-predict and click a move trying to predict his switch-in or whatnot. So I just stay in right here and click Thunderbolt, make the safe play, as he's actually going to stay in, take 67%. And another reason I wanted to get that huge damage off was because it helps Donphan get rocks up later in the game, which is ultimately the most important thing at this point. So we're going to get that damage off as he shows Toxic, which sucks because I do have Substitute on this set, and I was very, very close to clicking it. But at the same time, I was kind of fearing Ice Beam, so if he just went for that, I took unnecessary sub damage for no reason. And then depending on the spread, Ice Beam could have taken me very, very low. After rocks, I could have even died, so definitely didn't want to risk that. And I just clicked Thunderbolt, and he puts me on timer, which sucks. It definitely sucks. But right here, I am going to predict him to switch out, preserve his Blastoise because it still spins very well against Donphan. So I'm actually going to click Nasty Plot right here, predicting either Hippowdon or... yeah, I guess Hippowdon would be the best switch in, as he does go into Hippowdon exactly. And right here I do click the Nasty Plot as you see. And I do have Grass Knot on this, so I can't just click Grass Knot right here. I think it's pretty safe overall. This is one of my Z users to keep in mind, so I don't think he wants to risk one of his offensive things like Mega Charizard Y or Venomoth, or even Heliolisk. So actually this kind of caught me off guard. He actually goes right into Stoutland though, which is wonderful because I hit him with a Grass Knot and that does a ton of damage. putting him at 39%. And while that's really good, is if we can get Stoutland low enough to where the priority on our team can pick it off, which it's very close. I believe Mega Scizor after another round of rocks can knock this thing out. So that's really, really good. And obviously he's in the sand right now, so I need to switch out right away. I'm not in range of a Fire Fang, so I'm not worried about going into Mega Scizor right here, as it can take a normal type attack from him pretty easily. I was scared about Banded. He actually brings Life Orb, as you're going to see the HP reveal off his Stoutland right there. And right here, I believe I pull a double. I don't think I have U-Turn on this set. I really wish I had U-Turn, but his Life Orb, I guess he could have clicked Fire Fang. I don't think it knocked me out from the range he was at because of Fire Fang, or because of the range I was at. I don't think he could knock me out with Fire Fang. So right here, I believe I double instead of U-Turn just because I didn't really think it too well. Now I think about it, I probably should just U-Turn if I had it. But he's going to pull a switch in Blastoise right here, make a good prediction on my Donphan play, I guess. And obviously I still have Sturdy. I can get up my rocks if I want to right here. But I'm actually going to pull the switch into my Ninetales. As right here, this shows my inexperience with the Veil coming into play. I think I can go ahead and just get up a Roar Veil right now and nothing can stop it. But he has a Hippowdon in the back with obviously Sand, gets rid of it. I don't know why I wasn't thinking ahead in the game at this point, but that was a really bad play on my part now that I think about it. I could have Blizzard potentially landing on this Hippowdon, got it really, really low. And, you know, it would have been a lot better. But right here, I'm going to pull a switch with my Donphan, predicting him to either get up rocks or he actually pulls a really solid play again and goes into Blastoise. So he's actually taking Sand, which nullifies his leftovers, which is really nice. But right here, instead of pulling the switch into my Ninetales on either a Scald or a Toxic, I go into Volcanion because Volcanion's kind of expendable. So I don't mind getting a Toxic on me. And right here, I'm going to click Earth Power. Just for some reason, in case you want to go Heliolisk, I didn't want to mess around with that. And it can 2-hit kill the Blastoise, so that's a thing. And right here, obviously I can click Earth Power again to knock out the Blastoise, and it's just fair enough. But Jimmy's such an aggressive player, and he's got me on plays like this before, that he could have just went into Zard. If he didn't know it was Shuka, then he could have like Earthquaked or whatnot and knocked me out with like a physical Zard. So I didn't want to risk that, so right here I'm just going to click Steam Eruption, as I do knock out the Blastoise, which is wonderful, because I still have a Donphan at full with Stealth Rocks, so I definitely need to get those up as soon as possible. And right here I'm getting very low from the Toxic. I'm expecting Helios to come in 100%, and I'm just going to sack off Volcanion, as it's too low at the point to where Earthquake just knocks it out anyways from a Hippowdon with the Shuka, so no point in keeping it around, as I'm just going to sack it off, and I can bring in my Donphan right here. Now, right away, rocks are pretty obvious for me right here. I could click rocks. I click Earthquake right here. I don't want to mess around with this threat. If he decides to stay and get a Hyper Voice off, and if I click Stealth Rocks, I just don't want this thing to be in too healthy, so I click Earthquake right here, just playing it safe around the Heliolisk, as it's not even the worst as he goes into Zard right here. Because what I can do on the following turn is just click Stealth Rocks, which actually I make a mistake right here and click Rock Slide, which I was playing a little bit too turn for turn. I needed to kind of think the long game or ahead of the game, because if I get rocks up, it's good, really good for the Venomoth. It's really good for Zard. He can't like switch in and out with it, because that can still be a problem for my team since he's at full. So I click Rock Slide right here, and as you're gonna see, he's physical, and he goes for the Flare Blitz. It does under half, but he actually burns me, which in the moment seemed really bad, as I'm gonna click Rock Slide and he does not die from that. But that actually worked out for me really solidly, because from my misplay right there, I actually realized that, and I can click Stealth Rocks right here on a potential. If he wants to Dragon Dance, he's too low for any of my priority, so I'm not worried about that anymore. If he does have Roost plus Dragon Dance plus Flare Blitz, I just think that's not really realistic, but he could. That doesn't really hit my Volcanion, but as you're going to see, he's going to go for Flare Blitz again. I live on 4, and I can just click my Stealth Rocks, and it is going to be a double down due to the burn. So I got pretty lucky with the burn, actually. The burn on me got me pretty lucky right there, but as I'm able to get rocks up. And he's going to go into his Heliolisk again as I go into Ninetales. Now, at this point, I think I click Blizzard, as I just want to get a huge damage off on this thing, as I believe my Thundurus could still do work against the Venomoth and Hippowdon, and the Stoutland's so low at this point where it takes another round of rocks, Scizor can pick it off. So I want to get damage off on this Heliolisk. Also, if I click Blizzard on his Hippowdon, if you want to make that play again, predicting my Veil, then I get a huge chunk of damage off. As you're going to see, he's going to take the rocks right here. I click Blizzard, and do I land it? Of course I do. Get him down to 6%, which is huge, because obviously Stealth Rocks, or not Stealth Rocks, but Leftovers are going to come into play, so he's at 12%. My only other move was Hidden Power Rock, so I had a play right here. I could either click Blizzard, risk it, knock him out, or I could pull a switch into, I would have had to pull a switch in my Thunderous or my Greninja, which, on a slack off, which seemed probably like the better play. I don't remember. My Greninja definitely had Hydro Pump. But right here, I didn't want to risk him slacking off. So I'm going to click Blizzard, and I'll land another one in the sand. So I got lucky there with the Blizzard, but it is what it is, I guess. It's Pokemon. I land it, which is nice. Knock out the Hippowdon. So obviously his sand is only here for a couple more turns. If he has Smooth Rock, then that sucks. But like I said, Stoutland is in range from a Bullet Punch after another round of Stealth Rocks, which is wonderful. So right here with the Venomoth, I don't mess around. I have my Choice Scarf Greninja in the back. If he wants to attack straight here on my Greninja switch on like a Bug Buzz or something, he knocks me out, that's fine. I go into either Mega Scizor or Thunderous. I can kill this thing off. Like I said, with the Rock, I think I would go right here. As you're going to see, I pull the switch on my Greninja anyways. Or not my Greninja, I pull my switch into my Thunderous, as I don't need Thunderous anymore. I have Scarf Greninja, Rock Slide this thing, put it in range of Bullet Punch for my Mega Scizor, as Mega Scizor can basically take on the rest of his team if he doesn't have Hidden Power Fire on his Heliolisk, I believe, is what it is. But as you're going to see here, he is faster than me, obviously, and he is going to elect to go for the Bug Buzz, and that does knock me out. Venomoth is a monster, so I am going to send him my Choice Scarf Greninja. Even if he expects me to be Scarf, there's really not a good reason for him to switch right here, so he's just going to stay in, take the Rock Slide like a champ. This Venomoth is such a pain, man. It's so bulky, but he breaks through, gets the Bug Buzz off, and knocks me out. Where this may seem bad because I just lost 2 Pokemon right in a row to a +1 Venomoth, all special attack, special defense, and speed. But that put it in range of the Bullet Punch from Mega Scizor, and Mega Scizor should be able to clean this game if Ninetales can't. Actually, I think Helios can still deal with my Mega Scizor, but Ninetales, Ninetales should be able to clean this game at this point, is what I'm trying to say, as long as I put this thing in range of a Blizzard. So right here, I'm just going to click Bullet Punch on his Thunderbolt, and for some reason, I don't know why right here, I thought I was in range. I thought I was in range to live another Thunderbolt, but I guess I wasn't looking properly at the percentage. And I went for Roost right here, which probably was a bad play, because if he was running like 252 special defense, which definitely doesn't seem likely, then my Ninetales' Blizzard probably would knock this thing out. So I didn't click Bullet Punch right here. I clicked Roost because I guess I wanted to get the 2-0 instead of the 1-0. But Ninetales is still, he's not a huge fat Heliolisk, so I am able to just live this Thunderbolt like a champion. Do not get paralyzed, thank goodness. Click the Blizzard, and Stoutland might have Quick Attack, I can't remember, but as you're going to see right here, I am just going to click Blizzard and knock him out. He doesn't have it. If it does get Quick Attack, I don't remember exactly, but we're going to knock out the Stoutland, and that's going to be a game in our favor, 1-0. So good game to Jimmy right there. Definitely a scary match. The Heliolisk, like I expected, was going to be a very big pain in the ass. So that was rough. Now, coming into this next game, I'll go ahead and get into it. We're playing Glob, and he had a scary team. As you can see on this side, he does have a Greninja of his own. He has a Mega Venusaur, a Hippowdon, Salamence, Zapdos, and Mimikyu. I don't remember what he left off on the bench. If you guys remember seeing that at the beginning of the video, you feel free to look back in the video and check that out. But what he brought here is definitely a scary squad, as the Salamence is a very big threat, as well as the Mimikyu, if I don't play my Scisor's health correctly. So that's definitely scary, as even the Greninja is a huge threat. So this is probably the game I don't remember the most, but I'll try to remember the sets. I believe I brought Choice Specs Lone Ninetales because I didn't bring a Roarveil this week. I didn't necessarily think I would need it against this team. And he has a Hippowdon, just like Jimmy did, so I didn't want to play that game again where I go for the Roarveil and he still has his Hippo there. So I went ahead and brought Choice Specs Lone Ninetales. As you can see, Blizzard hits his team really hard. Mega Venusaur, if it Megas, obviously it only does like 40%. No, I don't even know if it does that, like 35, but it eats it. But other than that, Choice Specs, Blizzard does a ton to his team. So I thought that would be pretty good for Ninetales. Uxie right here is it's a dual screen Memento set. So I guess I said when I didn't really need a Roarveil, I kind of did. So I just went with Reflect, Light Screen, Light Clay. It has Memento and then Psychic maybe? But it's a dual screen Memento set. It kind of leads into my win con I'll talk about at the end. Next we have a Donphan, which is a Stealth Rock variant. Yeah, it's a Stealth Rock variant of Donphan once again. And we get up rocks. It obviously damages those 2 flying types on his team pretty nicely, and breaks potential sash on the Greninja and whatnot. So that's nice there. Donphan, I believe the Donphan has Head Smash too, so it doesn't necessarily let a Salamence or a Zapdos, or it doesn't let a Salamence set up on it, and Zapdos does not want to take a Head Smash. So yeah, and then we have the Thunderous right here. I think this is kind of similar to the Game 1 Thunderous, where it's a Nasty Plot set. I didn't bring Scarf because he had things like Mega Venusaur and Hippodon. I think it was a, yeah, this Thunderous was a potential win con from this game. It was a Nasty Plot, 3 attacks with Psyche MZ to break through the Mega Venusaur. So that was really good. And then we had a Volcanion right here. This was, I actually can't remember the Volcanion set, I'm sorry. But then the Mega Scizor was at the end. It was a SD set as my main win con this game with Bullet Punch, Bug Bite, and Knockoff, I want to say. So the biggest thing in the way of that was the Zapdos. So get into the battle. I'll try to remember this one as best as possible. I can't exactly remember the best, but he's going to lead Greninja right here. Predicting my Donphan probably lead, or Uxie is one of my Stealth Rockers, which is 100% what I thought he would do. So I led my Volcanion right here, as it's a good lead for me. And as you're going to see right here, he clicks Dark Pulse. So I was very surprised by that. I actually think I am an Assault Vest Volcanion, so he gets a crit on me, which maybe I'm not an Assault Vest, but he gets a crit on me, which does not matter. I don't think it would have mattered. I think it would put me around half, and then it would have depended on a roll or whatever, what kind of roll I got. But that sucked right away. He crits me, and right here I am going to break through, click Fire Blast, because if Mega Venusaur wanted to come in for some reason, or he could just catch something with a Fire Blast, I thought he would just switch out right away. He doesn't necessarily have the best Steam Eruption switches, maybe the Salamence, but I do have Hidden Power Ice on this Volcanion. I click Fire Blast. It does very little to this thing. He's just going to be able to knock me out with the Dark Pulse. So first 2 turns not going exactly the way I wanted it to. I'm going to send in my Ninetales right here. I'm kind of hoping he expects me just to go from Veil right away and maybe go on to Mega Venusaur or Hippodon, watching my last replay against Jimmy. But I am just going to fire off a Specs Blizzard, or a Specs Moonblast, I believe, just in case you want to, I guess, I don't know, I clicked that. I guess why he stayed in, but I'm faster than him right there, as he shows to be modest, which is fine with me. I knock out the Greninja, but he's going to go into Venusaur. Obviously, I can't stay in. I'm Specs. I'm going to go ahead and pull a switch into Insomnia, my Uxie. Now, I believe I go for win con number 1 right here. He goes for the Sludge Bomb, poisons me, which is a little annoying, but ultimately doesn't matter the most with this Uxie set. As right here, I am just going to click Light Screen. He's going to preserve health on this just in case I went straight for the Psychic, as he actually doesn't have a Psychic resist now that I look at it, because, you know, Greninja's down. But he's going to go do his best wall being the Hippodon. Right here, I am just going to click Reflect, get both my screens up. He's going to click Stealth Rocks, which is good for him. You know, it chips away at Thundurus, chips away at Ninetales really solidly. And, yeah. And I'm going to go for Memento right here, as he's going to show... I don't remember what he goes for right here. He goes for the Ice Fang, so that's good. Good to know that he has Ice Fang on for the, I guess, Thundurus. Because, and then the Donphan, I guess, is pretty nice. I'm going to bring my Scizor right here, and I'm really just hoping he doesn't have Roar or Whirlwind, because that's going to be really bad for me, because I'm already in the back. His Stealth Rock's on my side. He'll be stalling out turns of screens. So right here, I am just going to go straight for the SD, as he pulls the switch out, which is good. He pulls the switch into the Zapdos. Now, this... I don't know if this was the best set I could have brought in thinking about the game, this Mega Scizor set. But right here, I am just going to go ahead and click Bug Bite, as it is my strongest move against this thing. He goes for the Thunderbolt, does a solid chunk. Leads me to believe he does not have the heat wave on this thing. So I click Bug Bite right there, puts him very, very low. And right here, I just click Bullet Punch because I don't want to take any more damage. So I knock out the Zapdos. And at this point, I have 3 turns of Reflect left. Maybe, oh yeah, that was not a light screen Uxie, that was a safety goggles Uxie, so both my screens are gone at this point. Kind of sucks. Right here, I click Bullet Punch on the Mega Venusaur, because if he was running a good amount of speed, he just knocks me off Hidden Power Fire, and I just need damage off on the Mega Venusaur. Bug Bite put him very low in the red, and I know Donphan could have knocked him out with like Ice Shard or whatnot. Maybe actually, because Thick Fat, but Bug Bite was a, I don't even think it was a roll to kill. I think it would have lived no matter what, unless I got a crit. So right here I click Bullet Punch for damage, and the way he brings in Venusaur, obviously he's going to have Hidden Power Fire on deck. It just makes sense. So right here, I believe I go into my Alolan Ninetales. He is in range of Specs Blizzard right here. He may not know I'm Specs at this point. He might still think I am Roar Veil. But anyways, I'm just going to click Specs Blizzard right here, and he does go down. Doesn't necessarily have a good switch into this. So at this point, I think he goes into the Uxie, or not the Uxie, the Mimikyu. And I believe I stay in here, just click Specs Blizzard. As it breaks his thing's disguise, which is what I needed. And then even if he knocks me out, there's no reason for him to click Swords Dance right here. There's no reason at all. He should just Play Rough. Play Rough plus Shadow Sneak will knock me out. If Play Rough doesn't kill me, Shadow Sneak will the following turn. So I break the disguise on this Mimikyu, and he goes for the Play Rough. Gets me on 1%. So obviously, if he doesn't have Sneak, that would be amazing. But there's no reason for him not to have Sneak, as I am just going to go down to the Sneak. But his disguise is broken, which is pretty big. It's pretty big. As now I can go to my Donphan. It's my best play at this point. Like I explained with the Thundurus set, is a Psyche MZ set with Psychic meant for the Mega Venusaur. but it is also my strongest move to hit the Salamence. So once I get rocks up, Psychium Z, Psychic is obviously a roll to kill a Salamence, so I need that to be up, and I do have Grass Knot on this Thundurus to hit the Hippowdon for a lot of damage, depending on how much health he has left. Grass Knot can do a good amount. I didn't actually have any electric coverage on it, which was pretty funny. But as you're going to see right here, I do go into my Donphan, and I believe I just click Stealth Rocks right here, as he goes straight into Hippowdon as his best way to 1v1 this, and he absolutely can because he has Slack Off, and I don't have any reliable recovery. Oh, voice crack. I don't have any reliable recovery outside of actual Ogof Berry I do have on this set, so that was pretty cool. I'm just going to click Earthquake, get him very low, to the point where I want him to knock me out eventually. He doesn't have any way to get rid of rocks, which is huge. That's good overall. So I'm just going to keep spamming Earthquake. The thing with the Psychium Z, or not the Psychium Z, but the Grass Knot, is I think it does like 57 to 70%, or like 59 to 70%, something like that. So the range he's at right now, if he killed me, it would have been, maybe it was a little bit higher, because I kept going for this roll. Maybe, I think it was like, maybe it was 60 to 73 or something like that, but it was hard anyways. I had to get him down to a point where I could knock him out with the Grass Knot with Thundurus. And as you're going to see, I'm just going to keep clicking Earthquake. Right here, he Ice Wings me. I really wish he crit me at that point, or knocked me out, but I forgot my Ogof. He knocked, and it pops me in my Ogof here in a second. But had he got the leftovers right there, he would have been about 68, 69%, and that puts me in a really good spot to knock him out with Grass Knots. As you can see, my Ogof pops, and there's no reason for him not to just slack off on the following turn. Get as much health back as possible against me, as my Earthquake's doing a good amount. Even if I crit him with Earthquake, he could just slack off anyways. It would not do enough, so I'm just going to keep Earthquaking. It's my only play at this point, as he's just going to keep Ice Fanging. I'm hoping he doesn't rely on too much on his health, maybe thinking my Grass Knot won't do too much to him. Obviously, Grass Knot is a pretty good bring against the Hippowdon, as I did show it in my first game if you watched that up against Jimmy. But yeah, he's just going to keep slack off and making his good plays. As I'm going to get him to 56 right here. I really wish that killed me again because he's so low at this point where Grass Knot kills him. But it's unfortunate now because I'm going to click Earthquake. He's going to click slack off right here, get to 81, and he's actually at a percent where he's going to slack off again, which it sucks. It sucks because I guess he expected Grass Knot at this point, but it puts me at a chance where Grass Knot is a really bad roll in my favor. I would have to get a really, really good roll to knock him out. As you're going to see, he's at 76%, so I don't even know if he's in the range of a roll now, or it just has to be an absolute max roll. But as you're going to see, I'm showing the Grass Knot right here. It knocks him down to 3%. Had he not went for the slack off when he was at 86% and just knocked me out, then he would have been on range of a Grass Knot. The Mimikyu was sitting at, how much health was the Mimikyu at? Why is it not showing me? I don't know why it's not showing me, but the Mimikyu was at a health where I could just knock him out with Thunderbolt. If I knocked him out there, obviously I wouldn't have taken the Ice Fang. As you're going to see, he freezes me. But I could have taken a Shadow Sneak, knocked him out with the Thunderbolt. And then, or not the Thunderbolt, actually, yeah, I think the Psychic knocked him out from the range he was at, or from the range he was at. If it didn't, maybe I'm just lying right now, because I would have had to use the Psychium Z on the Salamence. So either way, it's going to come down to this. The differential would have mattered if I didn't get frozen right there. It would have been a 2-0 instead of a 3-0. But unfortunately, he freezes me, so I guess that sucks in a sense, but it does not matter. Leading into this game, we played Jimmy so far, we played Glob, and we are 1-1 with a -2 differential. So definitely in a scary spot, and we are going up against Narth Vader in our last match, sitting at 1-1 with a -2. Like I said, Narth is sitting at a 1-1 with a +2. So the Glob has already locked himself in as a spot for one of the two seeds to make it to bracket play. Jimmy unfortunately did go down 0-3, got some bad luck in there and stuff, so Jimmy's out, and it is between me and Narth at this point. It does not matter who ends up with a better differential. Whoever wins this match is going to be 2-1. Whoever loses is going to be 1-2. So, getting into this match, this was actually, even though the opponent I was facing, this was the most comfortable I was with the team I brought. As I felt like I had a pretty good matchup overall. My Mega matched up good against his Mega. The Blade he had was actually more of a problem you'll see here this game than it should have been. The P2 was probably the scariest thing I had breaking this game, as it was just annoying to break. Offensive Nidoqueen was really scary if you decided to do that against my team. But anyway, this is the team I decided to bring, and for the Uxie set, I believe this is my Stealth Rocker. Yes, my Stealth Rocker with U-Turn, Psychic, and It's a safety goggle set yet again because he has an Amoonguss which didn't come, so I really wish I didn't have the safety goggles here yet again, but I do. And he hit Amoonguss and Haxorus on the bench. That's what he didn't bring, but anyways, we have the Mega Scizor right here. It's a pretty bulky set. It deals with the Blade. It was initially supposed to have Knockoff, but it does not have Knockoff. It has Toxic instead, which absolutely sucks because it was my check to the Blade. And at this point, the Blade beats the Mega Scizor at 1v1, equal to Veil up. So just keep that in mind going through this game. The Greninja was a Focus Sash Greninja with spikes. He doesn't have any removal on his team. The 2 Pokemon on his bench didn't have any removal either, so Hazard Stacking him was absolutely what I wanted to go for. As I have Stealth Rocks on my Uxie, and if I get 1 or 2 spikes up with Greninja, I do have a couple ways to win this game. This is a Assault Vest Volcanion with a ton of special attack to deal with Mega Gardevoir. It has Sludge Bomb on here. If he ever wants to make his initial switch in the Rotom, I need a Poison on that big time. And Poison would be very nice. This is an Aurora Veil Ninetales again. I am finally going to bring on Aurora Veil Ninetales, and I'll go ahead and give a little spoiler. It finally does work, which is awesome. So, and then finishing off, it is a Dragon Dance, 1000 Arrows, Extreme Speed, Outrage, Zygarde, because it can absolutely put him work against his team. He has no resist to 1000 Arrows on his team, even on the bench. So if I can get up a couple DDs, that'd be huge. I really wish I had the Ground EMZ coming into this game, but Glob was actually helping me build a little bit, and he convinced me on the Lumberry, which was actually really smart because Rotom could still be a thing with like Scarf, Will-O-Wisp. And then there was just like other potential like Infernape with Will-O-Wisp. Like I did not want to get burned with my Wincon. That would have absolutely caused me the game right from there. So right with the beginning lead, I'm expecting him to either lead with the with either the Rotom or Nidoqueen, I believe. So I'm just gonna leave my Uxie is my Stealth Rocker. Getting the Stealth Rocks up right away is huge, as he actually pulls the Gardevoir lead. So this is the first game which I didn't really predict the lead very good. And right here, I think I just click Stealth Rocks. Or I think actually I pulled a hard switch in my Volcanion right away because I don't want him setting up Calm Minds right away. I want to be able to at least deal with it decently. So I'm going to go for the Volcanion switch, as he actually reveals Sub right here, which is completely fine with me actually. Revealing the Sub is actually completely fine with me, as he's not getting any special defense boost. This Volcanion is necessarily here just for the Mega Gardevoir. If it doesn't get the job done, then obviously I have Mega Scizor to pick it off, but Volcanion's here for that. It doesn't really allow switch-ins, so I can wear this thing down very easily. As I'm just going to click Sludge Bomb right here. It, as you can see, the Thunderbolt does not do too much to me with the Assault Vest. It does a lot actually with the Assault Vest stuff. But I'm going to click Sludge Bomb right there. It breaks. And another Sludge Bomb actually doesn't take him out, so he could just double Thunderbolt me if he wanted to. But preserving health on it is good for him. I do understand that play. I'm just going to click Sludge Bomb once again. I thought about clicking Fire Blast right there if he wanted to Blade, but like I'm a Fire type anyways, and he's not really gaining anything from that. So I click Sludge Bomb right there. It does not get the poison. Unfortunate for me, but it's only 30% chance, so I shouldn't be even saying that. As right here, he is going to go. I think I go for the Uxie play, even though I know he's going to Volt Switch and get Gardevoir right back in. I at least know what kind of Gardevoir I'm dealing with. So right here, he's going to click Volt Switch, as he does in fact go right back into Gardevoir. If he went to Blade right now, that could have been a little bit more of a problem, knowing that my Scizor misprep sucked for me. But I'm going to get Rocks up here, even though I know Substitute's coming. And I'm actually going to click U-Turn right here. Taking a ton of damage on this Hyper Voice does suck, but at least I'm able to slow U-Turn out into my Volcanion, break the sub, and proceed from there. As right here, he's going to go for Thunderbolt. Weaken me down to 11% as I go for the Sludge Bomb. Now, thinking that he's obviously just going to knock me out right here. Nothing I can do about that. My play here is to go in Mega Scizor, scare him out with the Bullet Punch. Here's a couple plays he can make right here. He can go Rotom, he can go to Blade, he can go Porygon 2. I guess necessarily not with the Blade. Maybe even Infernape if you want to make a really aggressive play. But I'm expecting a switch no matter what. The Gardevoir still does pretty good work against my team. If he has enough speed for Zygarde, it can put a work against that. Even though I don't think he can take an E-Speed after Rocks. So I guess he's just saving it for the Uxie. So I actually am just going to click U-Turn right here. I guess it's a pretty ballsy play in case he stayed in, click HP Fire. But I click the U-Turn, and as you're going to see right here, I do get an unfortunate crit. That 45% right there does end up mattering a little bit. I don't know how much it mattered towards like the outcome of the game, but it does matter in a sense of. I'll just explain it once it gets to a point where it matters more. Well, it matters actually right here, as I go into Greninja and I can just click Dark Pulse, as Dark Pulse wouldn't knock him out from here. I believe I would have had to either go into. I would have to go into something to wear it down even more, but I would have taken a Pain Split more than likely, and this thing would have just been difficult to deal with. So that crit sucked. It was definitely a big annoyance to him. I am just going to click my spike right here, though. I am a Focus Sash Greninja. I know he has Thunderbolt potentially, but I am just going to set up my spikes. He does 70% right there. I don't know what kind of set exactly is that on the Porygon. He has a pretty good amount of special attack. Obviously, it's Greninja, so he does not have good defenses. But this Stealth Rocks plus Spike is exactly what I needed for potential Zygarde sweep. Right here, I'm going to save my Greninja because I have Water Shuriken for the Infernape if I ever need to pull all that off. He shows the Thunderbolt. Does very, very little to me. Right here, I am just going to click... What do I click, actually? I think I click Psychic for damage, or do I click my... I click Toxic, yes. I forgot Toxic was my last move. So I tried to get Porygon 2 on a timer, which was fair play in my opinion. But right here, he goes in Nidoqueen. I click Psychic. I am faster, and he shows Piaba Berry. So the speed I am running on Uxie was around 230, so I guess that showed pretty good here, as I don't know if he's running any speed at all, but I do outspeed the Nidoqueen, which is nice. I click Psychic. He has Piaba Berry like I was talking about. I'm just going to click Psychic, weaken this thing down to where the point where anything can really pick it off on my team. And he does get Rocks up, which is a little unfortunate for parts of my team. It's going to mean Zygarde has to take a little bit more damage when trying to set up. So that's unfortunate, but it's better than straight knocking me out, because right here you're going to see he goes for the Flamethrower. It takes me down to 5%, does not knock me out, and Uxie can pick up the kill right here. So that's really good. I can save Uxie as a death fodder at this point, as he doesn't decide to bring into Blade. I'm 100% expecting SD right here, or just Shadow Sneak or anything. I guess not 100% SD. I guess I'm just expecting some move, whatever. But I pulled the switch into my Mega Scizor, and at this point, I didn't even look at my Mega Scizor. I was 100% confident it had knockoff on it, and I could 1v1 this Deblade. As I pull the switch into my Scizor right here, I'm going to realize I have Toxic over knockoff. So I began to get a little nervous right here what to do. But right here, I decided to click U-turn. Ultimately, he does not have any SDs up yet. I'm going to click U-turn, go into my Uxie, sack it off, as he is going to go for the SD, I believe. He goes for the SD right here, so that's a little bit problematic. My play here is to go into low Ninetales. I can take a Shadow Sneak from this, so I am 100% just clicking my Veil right away. As he's going to click Sneak, it's 200. It's a 2-hit KO very easily, even with Veil up. I am going to, for some reason, I saved my oh yeah, the reason I switch out Ninetales right here, it may seem a little weird, because he can just click Shadow Sneak and knock me out again. Hidden Power Fire does a ton to him, so he doesn't want to put himself in range of more priority on my team. But at the same time, I don't have Hidden Power Fire, so I pull the switch out, thinking he's either going to SD or Shadow Sneak again. I don't want him setting up SD, because if he gets to +6, Zygarde cannot win under Veil still. So I'm basically going to sack off my Greninja. If he goes for SDs, I can Dark Pulse him, which is good. So right here, he's going to knock me out, which is fine. He's still at +2, which is good. And I'm going to bring in Zygarde. I'm going for game right here, as we still have a couple more turns of Veil, which is nice. And we are faster than this thing, obviously, so I can get up. I have to get up 2 Dragon Dances. If I get 2 Dragon Dances, I can knock this thing out with 1,000 arrows. I need 2 Dragon Dances to potentially knock out Porygon 2. And then, yeah, I need to be faster than a Choice Scarf Infernape too, if he does have that in the back. So I'm going to set up Dragon Dance right here, as he does go for the Shadow Claw. And judging by the damage, it is a little scary because Hail's racking up on me. So it's getting a little sketchy here, because he's going to be able to hit me with another Shadow Claw plus a Sneak. So he's going to put me pretty low. Plus my own Hail's chipping against me, which definitely sucks. So right here he goes for the Sneak, gets me down to 22%. Luckily I do have the Light Clay, so my Aurora Veil turns are going to last a little bit longer. 1,000 arrows does knock him out right here. And this right here is the biggest turn of the game. If you guys remember at the beginning when I was going over our teams, if you do remember, Zygarde was one of my Z Crystal holders. I have not shown an item yet. I am Lumberry at the moment. If he thinks I am Dragonium Z or Groundium Z, basically his play is here, hope I'm Dragonium Z to be able to knock out the Porygon 2. Otherwise, I cannot kill him right here with any of my attacks. And I'm hoping he goes into Mega Gardevoir, predicting that. Because if he comes down another round of Spikes plus Rocks, then Porygon 2 essentially dies to the next attack. And if he stalls out another turn of Aurora Veil, Infernape can win. Infernape can win the game. So I actually go ahead and click 1,000 arrows right here. It would not have knocked out the Porygon 2. Keep that in mind. He switches into Mega Gardevoir right here. And at this point, I think it is basically game, because I click 1,000 arrows, knocked out the Mega Guard. Chilling at 22% still. The Porygon 2 will in fact die. Right here I can just click Outrage actually, because 1,000 arrows will still roll. That just shows how fat this thing is. I'm just going to click Outrage at this point, knock out the Porygon 2. Even if his Infernape does have Mach Punch, it can knock me out from 22%, especially in Veil. So I'm just going to click outrage again because I'm locked into it. Mach Punch does 8%, knocks me down to 14%, and we are going to knock out the Infernape and advance through pools. So good game to North right there. All three of my opponents, very good games overall. I thought all three games were very competitive, down to the wire for sure, and definitely a tough pool in general. So with that being said, we do advance to the round of 32, and we don't have to worry about pools anymore. It is single elimination from this point on, which I like a lot better because set up these pool matches, like arranging these, were very tough. Just because we had to play them all in a week on top of like a couple leagues I have, so definitely tough there. So yeah, that's going to be it for me, guys. I am going to come back with my next round in the bracket play. We're going against the owner of the EBT tour himself, Frawls, and he has a very interesting team. I won't say it yet, but you'll see whenever the video comes out. But anyways, that's going to be it for me, guys. If you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if new. I really would appreciate it, guys. I'm going to try and get more content out as soon as possible, and that's going to be it for me, guys, and peace.